What's going on today, YouTube? Jason with X Bacon Gaming, bringing my review of the EVGA DG-87 full tower gaming case. This case ranges in price from $149 to $229. This is the $229 version. Let's get the obvious out of the way right away. This case is freaking huge. It takes up a ton of space. What's nice about this case is this is considered the front. This is considered the sides. For most cases, this is considered the front. So you can't kind of set it at an angle like this. It takes up a crap ton of room, and it weighs in at 43 pounds. It's a heavy move. It's almost a two-man lift. The case itself has an absolute ton of room inside of it. If you remove the drive cages down here, I think you get almost 6 inches of basement material that is absolutely wide open to do with whatever you feel like you can do. The case has this nice LED lit EVGA branded shield on it, but this does come out with the use of this not captive thumb screw, so watch out, it will fall. Once you remove that, then you get a ton of room for radiators. This little channel back here, this thing comes off as well with the use of, it's a little too tight, but trust me, that thumb screw comes out and this channel comes out, so you can route cables up through there, mount radiators, and you get just an absolute beastly amount of space inside this case. The basement has the room for your power supply. That cover also slides forward and back, so you can access your cables, and they're incredibly easy to get to on your power supply. One thing to note is I mounted my EVGA Supernova power supply in here, and when pushing it in to mount it during the build, I got this monster scratch on the top of my power supply, which it's covered. Not a huge deal, but just keep that in mind. There just isn't enough clearance. I don't know. Could just be my unit. Okay. Also inside here, it comes pre-installed with 640 millimeter fans. There's room for 2 more 140 millimeter fans, which aren't included. Which for $250, you figured that would be included, but it's not. So just keep that in mind. But there is tons and tons of room. All the fans are pre-wired. All the fans are sleeved, or all the cables are sleeved, black sleeving. That is really nice. Thank you, EVGA. It's a very clean installation. Down here on the bottom, if you get the $149 one, and I think the second $150, $160 one, whatever, you don't get the included LED or fan controller with the temperature probe, which this temperature probe is kind of nice. So I haven't kind of figured out what I want to do with it. It's just dangling here next to my RAM, so I can get an idea of where that temperature sitting. But really, it is kind of nice. Still trying to figure out what to do with it. But down here on the fan controller, you can control intake and exhaust fans in 5% increments very easily. Bam. And when you do max everything out, it does sound kind of like a leaf blower, but it's a lot of fans to move at 100% and being 140 millimeters. I'm sure you guys have had 140 millimeter fans pumping. As far as cooling support in this thing, there is a ton of room. Unfortunately, the top is not filtered. It's just a mesh grill, and it's kind of a bear to get that thing out of there. It's not filtered, so of course we're going to want to blowing everything out. The front is filtered with a magnetic, or not magnetic, a plastic filter catch. It's not the easiest I've seen to remove and clean, but it is filtered. That is nice. Bottom and the back here also has a filter for your power supply. Pulls out like any normal this junk in the way. Whoops. See, nothing special, but it is there. Now, the major gripe I have with this case, other than the price, is this reflective front panel. I could you literally can do your hair in this front panel. It is that reflective. Really don't know what they were thinking when they did that. There's so many other fits and finishes they could have used on the front of this panel. Now, again, some people might enjoy it, some people might not. I personally don't care for it, but the performance of the case well makes up for that little odd situation. On the back here, which is actually kind of nice, is you get, or the left side, I guess you would call it, you get 240 millimeter pre-wired exhaust fans. And what EVGA claims is this bottom fan helps pull air through your card, which makes sense. It's definitely in that spot, and I'm sure it definitely works. So it will keep your blower style coolers a little cooler. There's a little access grill here to close off this chamber to force the air to go through your card. So if you have a single blower style card, they advise keeping it closed, so it will pull cool air through. It does definitely work. They say at 7 degrees Celsius it can change the temperature of your card. I have modded my 1080 with the EVGA hybrid cooler recently. If you haven't seen that video, I just posted it. So I really can't gauge how that does work. But I guess with the design and looking at it, it probably for sure does work. Now, there's a couple of issues with this case. Because of the size of this thing, and it is a monstrosity, the power supply is located so far and back down here that actually routing my 24 pin along the back and getting it through the rubber grommet, there is a hard drive caddy on the back, which is nice. There's 2 big hard drive caddies for mechanical drives. I had to remove that to allow my EVGA power supply to reach that 24 pin and it's still a bit of a stretch. There's a little bit of tension put on it, but it works. But I did lose a mounting option. Now this thing does support up to 12 SSDs and hard drives. Sorry guys. So there's 2 caddies down here in the basement that are removable, and then a bunch of SSD mounts on the back, and so there's plenty of room for storage. But if you're wanting to use the basement for water cooling or anything like that, you kind of have to remove those hard drive caddies. And then on the back, if you can't stretch your 24 pin and you're left with only one true hard drive mount, that's a bit frustrating. I don't think anyone would need to remove both hard drive caddies from the basement. Because that's some serious water cooling stuff, because there's still a ton of room inside the basement of this thing. So that's okay. So also the case comes standard with raised bumps for your motherboards. So you do not need standoffs. Don't try to put standoffs in. They don't even ship it with standoffs. So that's nice. What else do we have? On the front here we have 2 USB 3.0, headphone, microphone, HDMI pass-through, and USB Type-C. Now the HDMI pass-through is really nice, and it is pre-wired on the back here. Let's see if I can grab that cable. It's kind of hidden. But this is for VR. The cable's right there, black sleeve, ready to plug right into the back of your video card or motherboard, and so it's very VR ready. It's also got the K-Boost button. The K-Boost is, if you're familiar with the EVGA product, basically what it does is it just turns everything to high, gives it a slide overclock on everything, and I never use it myself because I do all my overclocking manually, but it is there. It is nice. If you need to speed everything up to cool things in a hurry, that's kind of nice. On the top, you are greeted with two USB 2.0s, a reset button, also a K-Boost button, and a power button, which is nice. They have it on both the top and the bottom in case you do have it down below on the floor. What else? Actually, I think that actually really does sum up this. Oh yeah, hold on. This case for removing this door, it's a two-hand job. It is literally. It is damn near impossible to get this. It's really tight. And when I first took this the front panel off to do my build, I had to use both hands to unlock it, and the door fell flat on the ground. There's nothing holding it on here once you do detach this, and unfortunately, since it really does take, two hands. Ugh. EVGA, what is the deal here? Just like that. For a $30 case, to that being how you guys mount the front door, that's ridiculous. So if you're doing the build, please leave the shrink wrap on the door. Don't go tearing it off right away because it will fall flat on your feet. Oh, and if you're a fan of light strips, this is one of the, or LED lights, this is one of the hardest cases I've ever seen. I don't even have any in here. I took my NZXT Hue out because there is not a single flat surface in here. If it is flat, then it's plastic. And I like the magnets on my LED strips because I move cases a lot. And so there's nothing flat, nothing metal anywhere in here to mount an LED light strip. So keep that in mind when you are building in this case. Sorry about that. And as I was stating, the back of it, there's so much room for cable management. It is insane. I think there's 1.5 inches of clearance, so you shouldn't have any issues with your cable management short of the hard drive cage that we'd already discussed. Build to the front, everything is all plastic all around. The back side is actually metal, probably aluminum. I'm not 100% sure, but in the motherboard tray, is that plastic too? I don't know. There's a bunch of rubber grommets. There's plenty of room. You're not gonna be pulling this thing out away from the wall because it's so freaking heavy. You're never gonna show anyone the backside. Definitely not going to be taking this thing to any LAN parties. That is for sure. But with all those things being said, it is a great case. It does move a ton of air. Keeps everything nice and cool. Tons of room for water cooling support. This little chamber for your video card with the back exhaust. That's a really cool, innovative idea. So all in all, I'd have to give it a pretty solid. The looks are not going to be for everyone. I promise you that. Looking at this thing, there's a lot of mixed reviews on the forums. People love it. You either love it or you hate it. There's no real in between. I don't mind it. It takes up a ton of room, but I personally I got it because I planned on doing some serious water cooling, but it's just not in the budget yet. So. But other than that, the case is very good. I think when they redesign it for the next iteration, they'll take into account the oddness of some of the items, and they'll probably make a really good product instead of just a good product. But again, guys, this is Jason with XBacon Gaming. Thank you for taking the time to watch. If you guys like to subscribe for more content, I'm trying to do a video a week, hopefully. you haven't seen the hybrid cooler installation for the 1080, check it out. Again, thank you. Have a great day.